Greetings, Benjamin J. the Victrola Guy with another in the series on the tinfoil phonograph. It is pouring rain here, so not much mischief, so I thought I would spend a few minutes and make the second recording on the new aluminum foil tape. So now it's just a matter of seeing. The whole point of me doing these tests is I'm looking for a tape that is easy to use, easy to apply, easy to get back off, that makes decent recordings. Now this makes fair recordings at best. I've made much better recordings. But it just depends on if I can adjust the machine to use this and then what kind of recording I can get. Because when I do demonstrations, I can just have these strips pre-cut and then just peel them off, put them on, use them, make a recording, take it off, put on another one, without having to spend a lot of time in the interim of messing with foil. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to cut this one to length. Now the mandrel is slightly under 18 inches. So I cut these off at 18 inches and it gives me about a 1/4 inch overlap, which is more than enough. So cut the foil off, and then you see it's full of little wrinkles and dents. So just put it down on the table and just run your thumb down it. And you can actually feel it getting thinner as you're burnishing all the wrinkles out of it. And it only takes a second to do this. Of course, the nice thing about this tape is I can have all this pre-done and just have these strips readily available. I can just pick them up, put them on the machine, make a recording. But of course the whole idea is to make a good recording. I don't want to make a poor recording. This tinfoil phonograph is capable of making some really decent recordings. I've made some outstanding recordings on copper and other aluminum. Like I said, the whole idea of these tests is just to find something that's easy to use, pre-cut into strips. And in this case, this is exactly the same width as the mandrel itself. Whereas all the other tapes I've tried, I've had to fold them over. Not this one, it fits on there virtually edge to edge. So we'll pull the backing off, and this backing is fairly easy to peel, that being a relative term, of course. It's just, whoops, it's just getting it started. There we go. And then the second challenge, see, if you're using a nice wide piece of foil, you've got a lot of fudge factor in getting this thing on there straight, or so you actually fill all the grooves. With this tape being the same width, if you're off, like I said, a 1/16 of an inch up here, by the time you get around to the other end, you're off a 1/4 inch. So it's critical that it goes on there straight, and it's actually quite challenging to do that. So stick this down and see how we do. Well, fairly straight so far. So I'm just pushing this down with my thumb as I'm pulling it off its backing. And then we get to the overlap. And a little over 1/4 of an inch, I guess. And then we go around and just, with our thumb, push this foil down so it's tight as possible on this grooved mandrel. And on this recording, I'm going to increase the depth of the cut just a bit. Like I said, I'm not looking for a spectacular recording, but I want something good that's also repeatable. And so I'm going to increase the depth of this cut about a 1/16 of a turn on the depth selector, which is basically just a screw. Alright, so let's line up our stylus and see where we are on the mandrel. Okay, we are in, wow, the very first groove. And we've got our depth of cut adjusted. So this will be the second test of this new aluminum foil tape. This is called Power Plus. That's the only name inside the reel itself. Power Plus, no idea. Originally made for shielding electric guitar bodies. Okay, so we're going to see what kind of recording we can make. Hopefully better than yesterday. And if this doesn't work out, I'll be testing lots of other foils. But as I said, the whole idea of doing this is to find one that's the easiest to use that makes a good repeatable recording. So let's see how we do recording on the new aluminum foil tape. This is test number 2. Hello, hello, hello! Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Ha, ha, ha! All right, well, I've got really outstanding modulation. I can see that. Wow, it's really quite defined. The question is, what does it sound like? So we'll rewind our mandrel to its starting point. Put our stylus back at the beginning, and here is the second test of aluminum foil tape on the 1878 demonstration phonograph. The beginning was kind of weak because I didn't push that little edge down. Again, one of the drawbacks to using tape, because you're not rolling it over the edge, it's just laying edge to edge. And so I just learned that not to use the very first groove, move over one, because it's not laying flat enough in that spot. Alright, so here's the second playing on aluminum foil tape. Alright, well, it works, but I'm not really impressed with the results. I've made much better recordings. Of course, this is only the second test, so I can probably try cutting it a bit deeper to see if that increases the volume. But again, the whole idea of this is how easy is it to use as compared to what kind of recording it makes. All of this compared to standard strips of aluminum foil. So now the question is, can you get it back off the mandrel? So we'll go to the overlap and see if I can get it started and pull it off this mandrel as a piece. Alright, I've got it started. Now a nice, slow, even pull. And it comes off. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see how well defined those grooves are, but it doesn't seem to make a really super loud recording. And as I said, I've made much better recordings on other foils, but that is the whole idea of testing all these, is just to see what kind of recordings they do make as opposed to how easy or how difficult they are to use. So, being such a simple apparatus, it is actually quite involved to record on aluminum foil. So I just wanted to document it. This is the second test of the new aluminum foil tape, so obviously I'm going to keep testing. The next test I'm going to do is, rather than using an adhesive back tape, I'm going to apply an adhesive directly to the mandrel. So I went down and I bought 2 acid-free glue sticks, the kinds that are used in photographic preservation. And so I will take standard strips of aluminum foil, apply a small amount of adhesive with a glue stick directly to the mandrel, use standard aluminum foil and see how that works. And of course the adhesive is water soluble, so I can just wipe it down with a warm cloth or just alcohol and just wipe the adhesive away so I don't have to worry about residue. But Going to be trying lots of different experiments to see what really makes the best, loudest, brightest, and easiest recording. Whether it's aluminum, copper, lead foil, stainless steel, brass, there's all kinds of foils. It's just a matter of finding them, testing them, and how much do they cost. Copper works quite well, but it is prohibitively expensive, which of course brings us back to aluminum. So I just wanted to do a quick test. This was test 2 of the new aluminum foil tape. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, TheVictrolaGuy@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.